Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another exciting week in the NFL. This is week 9. We will go over our week 8 predictions and then give you our week 9 predictions. Week 8 was a really tough week for us. We had 9 wins and 7 losses. That was our worst week thus far. Our Swami picks for week 8 were 6-2. So not terrible, but not what we like to see. Looking over some of the more notable games. First, we'd like to go over some of the games where we went against our model. Most notably, the Cincinnati game, the Arizona game, and the Washington game. In each of those cases, our model told us to pick the other side. However, after much ado, we changed our decision, went with the other teams, and lost on all 3 of those wagers. Washington was due to some last-second heroics, but so was Arizona to some extent with that field goal. So if we counted those wins, we would have been something more like 12-4 if we had followed our model exactly. That being said, close only counts in horseshoes. So let's get on and talk about next week, where we hope to have a really good week. Starting out the week, we have Houston at the New York Jets. And while this seems to be a pretty obvious choice, we're going to lean with Houston, even though there's an issue with Stephon Diggs. And of course, Nico Collins is out. And the Jets have really been beaten down with that loss to the Patriots last week. We think all of the bad press and all of the pressure on the Jets is going to make them respond. And we actually are leaning a little bit toward the Jets, even though our numbers tell us to take Houston. So we're taking Houston for the win. Our recommendation is to take Houston. The next game up is Dallas at Atlanta. And while Dallas desperately needs this win, we think that Atlanta is on a bit of a roll. And Dallas really can't do much against the run these days. Their defense has been looking awful. Dallas is also one-dimensional with their passing attack. So we do anticipate Atlanta taking this, and we recommend taking Atlanta on the money line. Next game up is Miami at Buffalo, and this is a divisional game. And even though Tua is back in operation, we think Miami is a bit dysfunctional at this point, and the Bills are on a roll and have been home for the week after that trip to Seattle where they destroyed the Seahawks. So we're recommending taking Buffalo on the money line. And that's one of our Swami picks of the week. Next game up is Las Vegas traveling to Cincinnati. And while we anticipate this being a close game, we are recommending taking Cincinnati on the money line. The next game up is sort of interesting. It's the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns seem to have their spark back with Jameis Winston in as quarterback. However, we think that Los Angeles will be able to pull this one out, although we do anticipate it being closer than our model says. Los Angeles on the money line is also a Swami pick of the week. The next game up is New England traveling to Tennessee. And normally we would lean toward Tennessee on this. However, Tennessee just finished up playing Detroit. They're going to be tired. They're going to be beat up. And New England is just off a win on the Jets and maybe starting to get a little bit of that swagger back in their walk. So we are recommending to take New England plus the 3.5 points. They'll need a little help, but the 3.5 points should cover the spread. The next game up is Washington at the New York Giants, and this should be a fairly easy game. It is one of our Swami picks of the week. We do anticipate Washington winning outright, and Washington on the money line is a Swami pick of the week. The next game up is New Orleans traveling to Carolina, and we do have this in as a Swami pick of the week with New Orleans winning, and we recommend taking New Orleans on the money line. But don't be surprised if it's a lot closer than the numbers indicate. The next game up is going to be our game of the week. Denver is traveling to Baltimore, and we anticipate a much closer game than the numbers indicate. Denver has been playing lights out. Baltimore's secondary really stinks, and we think this is going to be a good defense against an average defense. Baltimore does have Lamar and Derrick Henry, so we anticipate Baltimore winning, but our recommendation is to take Denver and the 9.5 points. It's just too much to give up on this game. The next game up is Jacksonville traveling to Philly, and Philly is getting back to full strength. Jacksonville's coach is returning to his home. However, we do anticipate Philly winning this, and we recommend taking Philly on the money line. That is a Swami pick of the week. The next game up looks a little tricky to call. Arizona has been escaping by the skin of their teeth in the last couple of games. Chicago is traveling to Arizona, and we do anticipate Chicago to win this game outright. We do recommend taking Chicago on the money line, and that is a Swami pick of the week. The next game up is Detroit traveling to Green Bay. This is going to be a lot closer than people imagine. However, we do recommend taking Detroit on the money line. They just have too many weapons, and they're really doing a number on every team that they play. The safe call here, we think, is to take Detroit on the money line. However, you will notice that that is not a Swami pick of the week, because that one, divisional rival, could go either way. The next game up is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Seattle, and we think Seattle's starting to soften just a bit, and Los Angeles is really surging now that they've got their offensive weapons back. So we recommend taking the Los Angeles Rams on the money line. The next game up is Indianapolis traveling to Minnesota. And while we do anticipate it to be a close game, we think Joe Flacco will probably show as quarterback at some point in this game. We do think that Minnesota will take the game, and we do recommend taking Minnesota on the money line. The last game up is Tampa Bay at Kansas City, and while our numbers show this to be a close game, the loss of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans can't be overestimated. Kansas City has just got in DeAndre Hopkins. This is his third game, and he should be integrating with the offense pretty well. We think Kansas City will take care of business, and we're recommending that you take Kansas City on the money line, and that is our final Swami pick of the week. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and put comments down below on things that you'd like to see, and let us know how you're doing. Thanks for watching, and have a great and profitable week.